Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Sonic the Hedgehog here, aka the Blue Blur, aka Blue Justice, and I am back for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos, as you probably expected at this point in time. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more Let's Play of Mario Kart 8 for the Nintendo Wii U, plus Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch, while we're still playing through the Booster Course Pass DLC. So, last time, we've essentially managed able to win through the Burrain Cup. That cup, all in all, it was actually really good, despite there are some controversial opinions about the forms of Mario Circuit from Mario Kart DS's choices, but still, regardless of everything else though, it's already too late for now, in regards to the forms of trying to replace it into Airship Fortress, which I still really wish if Airship Fortress would be on there, but like I said before, it's already too late now, so because of that, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate though. But apart from those aside things though, I will say, at the end of the day, Wave 4 is really good. Nothing perfect or anything else like that, unlike the forms of how it does it for Wave 3, in my opinion. Because of the forms of the track selection, for the sake of the forms of both Rock Cup and Moon Cup to me though. But at the very least though, it's about the fact that we still appreciate to have Bodo to be the returning playable character for the sake of the forms of the DLC department. So today, for this video, is about the fact that we're about to continue things on in the Booster Course Pass, and this time we are now moving on to Wave 5. So as a result, I think one of those cups in particular we're about to jump into next, and that's what appears to be the Feather Cup. So, and this time around though, for a character choice, I think we're most able to go ahead and select one of those two princesses right up there. So I think what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be selecting Princess Peach, just because ever since, after all, and this year in particular for 2024, at the very least we actually got Princess Peach Showtime for the Nintendo Switch, so as a result, no matter what though, it already did manage to came out ever since during the forms of it 9 months ago. So because of that, yeah, we still managed able to actually did that particular game for a Let's Play department. For those of you who want to check it out, then by all means you can able to check it out. So in some cases though, yeah, you can probably get the idea how this is good brings up to be. So yeah, I just seriously can't even believe we've almost nearly at the end in regards to the forms of not only for its Booster Course Pass, but also with the forms of this entire Let's Play of Mario Kart 8 itself. So because of that, yeah, we're almost there folks, so we're generally almost there. So anyways, let's hit into the forms of the Feather Cup. Now as far as I'm aware, I believe Wave 5 did somehow first released in during the forms of on the 12th of July, in during the forms of in 2023. Now I believe for the majority of the forms of two of those cups in particular for Wave 5 are all entirely like summer themed tracks. So because of that, I'm very curious to know what they are. So yeah, for instance, the first track we're going to be hop into for the Feather Cup, and that's what appears to be Athens Dash. And this obviously comes from Mario Kart Tour. And in terms of the forms of what this track is actually based off from, in terms of country, all that stuff, this usually takes place in Greece. So because of the forms of Athens, and also we got ourselves some Greek mythology kind of references here and there for this track. Well, I'm not exactly sure per se, because I know for a fact that it's been about 6 days ago since we've last played this game for sure. Because obviously, like I said before, we're getting very close towards the end in journey forms of this entire Mario Kart 8 Let's Play for our YouTube channel's sake. So because of that, yeah, because no matter what though, despite the fact that we were originally going to be able to do the exactly same uploading schedule system as the forms of Mario Kart Double Dash, but we feel like we're most able to go for individual cups this time around ever since the good old days, ever since in journey forms have been not only Mario Kart DS, but also with Mario Kart Wii, Mario Kart 7, and much more. So because of that, whilst kind of thinking about it, I think Mario Kart Double Dash is the only time that we did somehow manage able to go through more than one cup. Like, to be more specifically, we managed able to go through 2 cups per video, apart from a couple of exceptions, just because of the forms of the All Cup Tour. So no matter what though, nothing else to say about it. So anyways, a few things I want to explain for this point today is that, well, today's date, of course, there is the 14th of December today, in some cases in 2024 today. So naturally speaking though, only 11 more days to go until Christmas in 2024. So yeah, I have no idea what my predictions is going to be in regards to the forms of the Christmas gifts this year. Well, because of that though, we should probably save that particular topic once we able to actually finish up everything for the sake of the forms of Mario Kart 8 related. So even for the entire booster course pass, as a matter of fact. So anyways, like always, we have to able to go through the forms of multiple variants for the sake of the forms of Athens Dash. So for instance, we managed able to explore for the forms of Athens Dash 1, 2, and 3. Although, kind of thinking about it though, I love the aesthetics about the forms of this particular track. Even though the distance on the actual town feels a bit kind of bland. But apart from those side things though, I just love exploring through certain you know, certain aspects about the forms of Athens itself. And kind of thinking about it, for those of you who do remember back in 2004, Athens used to be able to do the Summer Olympics ever since in 2004. And gee, it's been like 2 decades ago. To be more specifically though, 20 years ago. So yeah, time flies, as I've already expected that. So anyways, here we go on to the next track in terms of the forms of the Feather Cup, and this is also a really good choice actually. That's what appears to be none other than Daisy Cruiser, and this track obviously do make a return ever since in Journey forms. Well, technically speaking though, it's about the fact that this track is obviously based off of Mario Kart Double Dash, and kind of thinking about it though, I am super pleased able to actually know that this track does make a return for, technically speaking, for the 3rd time if you want to count Tour. Whilst apart from those side things though, it's about the fact I just love seeing this course in gorgeous HD, because, well, kind of thinking about it though, obviously in Mario Kart 7, that track also makes a return for Daisy Cruiser, but I don't think there's going to be any changes around here, apart from the fact that they're now able to actually include Goomba with floaties and stuff like that in Journey forms the water section. But apart from those side things though, I honestly do manage to prefer Daisy Cruiser over the likes of how it does it for Peach Beach, because I know for a fact that for one particular thing in mind, that Peach Beach is obviously going to be a pretty simple basic course, whilst in here though is actually a lot of fun to able to actually drive around the cruise itself. So, and we're still able to come across into this underwater section ever since in Mario Kart 7, alongside with the Tour counterparts. So yeah, you get the idea for this point. And also, very much like the forms of how it does it on Mario Kart 7, you can obviously choose between either left or right in the beginning portion of the track, whilst it's not going to be a thing for the sake of Mario Kart Double Dash, just because there are some tons of cones blocking the actual path, or something relates to that. And of course, much like always, we get ourselves the moving tables, as we expect at this point, so I love to see that. So, in some cases though, the good thing we did somehow manage to keep the Super Horn with us, just in case we can able to annihilate the actual, well, the blue spiny shell, what you expect. So, even though, so far so good anyway, when it comes to like winning streaks and stuff like that, when it comes to claiming first place all in all, because, you know, I'm the fastest thing alive, as we expect at this point. So, even though, despite the fact that, well, I wasn't playable in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, sadly. Well, aside from the forms of the Mii Racing suits, which we already know about that. Well, assuming if you try to able to scan your Sonic Amiibo and all that stuff, so yeah, you probably get the idea. Anyways, let's move on to the next track in the Feather Cup, and this is also a good choice as well in my opinion. That's what appears to be Moonview Highway, and this track is obviously based off of Mario Kart Wii, so kind of thinking about it, I was very excited able to see that track returns in this game, but with gorgeous HD visuals. But the only nitpicking I have with this is that I feel like the traffic, you know, the traffic system when it comes to forms of avoiding lorries, cars, and all that stuff, they are way too easy to avoid, whilst unlike in Mario Kart Wii, they are a lot more chaotic, whilst in here though, they just tone it down, meaning about the fact that every single vehicle has actually been slowed down, so as a result, very much like the forms of how it does it for Toad's Turnpike, it's nowhere near as chaotic as the forms of how it does in the original counterparts, at least as far as I'm aware. But at the very least though, it's about the fact that I think, fundamentally speaking though, I don't think there's any changes around here, at least as far as I can tell, for the sake of the forms of Moonview Highway. But on the other hand though, it's about the fact that there was that one in particular Mario Kart Wii track that it will not make it during the forms within this particular game, or potentially speaking with the booster course pass. That's what appears to be Dry Ruins, because aside from the fact that, well, it technically does make a return in Mario Kart Tour, and that's just that. So because of that, I honestly don't mind about the forms of Moonview Highway to be appeared in the forms of, jeez, I totally forgot about these bomb carts. Well, kind of thinking about it though, much like the forms of how it does it not only in Mario Kart Double Dash, but also with the forms of Mario Kart Wii as well. Obviously, it's about the fact that if you dare touch the bomb carts, obviously, rather than just launching into the mid-air, unlike the forms of how it does it in Double Dash and Wii, so instead you're able to actually get yourselves a small knockout kind of thing. So because of that though, pretty standard stuff, and like I said before, they managed able to tone down the difficulty this time around for the sake of the forms of this variation of the forms of Moonview Highway. So, but yeah, you get the idea for this point. And also, I've noticed that the dash panels has been a slightly changed position or something. Well, despite the fact that it's been a very long time since I actually have last played the original counterpart of Moonview Highway in Mario Kart Wii. So, anyways, I guess that's pretty much about it for Moonview Highway. And now we're moving on to the final track in terms of the forms of the Feather Cup. And this one is also very unique, and that's what appears to be none other than Squeaky Clean Sprint. And of course, much like the forms of how it does it on not only for the sake of the forms of Yoshi's Island, and especially noticeable with Sky High Sunday, that I suppose I forgot to mention about ever since during the forms have been last Sunday. With those three tracks, which there are Sky High Sunday, Yoshi's Island, and now Squeaky Clean Sprint, technically those tracks did technically first appear in Journey Forms of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, whilst they later appeared in Journey Forms of Mario Kart Tour for some tours. Although I will say, I love every single aspect about the forms of Squeaky Clean Sprint. Because, kind of thinking about it, the entire structure does kind of remind me of the forms of a remake of the forms of Ribbon Road, from not only for the sake of the forms of the Wii U version of Mario Kart 8 DLC for Wave 2, or Pack 2, as far as I like to call it, but also with the forms of the base game of the forms of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, that usually kind of thinking about it, managed able to take place into some sort of like a living environment. Except this time we're now going to be exploring into the entire bathroom itself. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool. And on top of all that stuff though is about the fact that I just love every single aspect of it, ranging from we're going to be driving into the actual sink, and on top of that we're going to be diving underwater on the actual bathtub. And not only that though, we're about able to actually go for the drains, and not only that though, we can able to actually just to try to come across into the actual fan, and not to mention though, we're gonna be able to be gliding over the actual toilet. So don't expect things too much about the fact that we're not gonna able to flush down the toilet, unlike Roddy St. James, for the sake of the forms of flushed away, because, well, you probably get the idea what I'm talking about here, because I always, this particular track does remind me like a similar vibes as Flushed Away with that particular toilet bit. And something's worth noting for is that there is technically an alternative way you can go into by gliding all the way to the right here, where all you get is just more items, as well as a dash panel and a bouncy mushroom ever since in Mushroom Gorge. So, pretty cool, huh? But kind of thinking about it though, also something's worth noting for is that during the forms of Wave 5, when that particular wave has been first released, you're also able to get yourselves not one, but 3 playable characters, which there are PD Piranha, Wiggler, and Kamek. So, at the very least, that's something you might able to realize about this right from the start though. So, and kind of thinking about it though is about the fact that, oh, and by the way, if you drove onto the actual, the bubble soap or something like that, you will slow down. So because of that, though, you have to able to watch out not able to drive onto the actual soap, so. But, I will say, though, the Feather Cup is also fantastic, especially concerning the biggest highlights for me, though, in regards to the forms of the Feather Cup, honestly, it's pretty much everything. Like, for instance, I obviously do enjoy Athens Dash, despite what the forms of the town bit just feels a bit bland visually. But apart from those side things though, I just love exploring through Athens itself, and also you know, enjoyed Daisy Cruiser, Moonview Highway is such a great experience, and of course, Squeaky Clean Sprint is obviously amazing. And because of that though, yeah, I enjoyed every single aspect about the Fonts of the Feather Cup. So, and as far as Wave 5 in general, as far as I'm concerned, then again, we'll explain more about it once we get to the next cup until tomorrow. So because of that, yeah, that was about it basically. So we've gone through 9 cups so far for the sake of the Fonts of the Booster Course Pass. So yeah, 9 cups down and only 3 more to go. So because of that, still, we're getting pretty close, folks. We are definitely getting pretty close. So, of course, once again, we'll claim ourselves our perfection run. And because of that, we've once again claimed the glorious gold trophy with a typical, simple trophy design. But at the very least, that's all I can really say about this, I guess, apart from brief description at the back. So, yeah, with that being said, folks, is that we got the endings off at this point right here. So join me tomorrow for more of Let's Play of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Booster Course Pass DLC. Is that we're going to be moving on to the 10th Cup for the second Fonts of the second and the final Cup for Wave 5, and that's what appears to be the Cherry Cup. So I'll see you guys until tomorrow. Later, fellas.